I disagree.
He will be saying that perhaps a few times today. But we are going to be talking about... Oh, hi, buddy. It's the Dork Lords, everybody. It's Paul. It's Matt. We're angrily arguing now about Star Trek Discovery, Episode 3, Context is for Kings. Which is, it sounds like a line that should be said like that, and then it's kind of like thrown out.
That's true.
But
it psyched you out.
Context is for kings. But yeah, all right. So a lot happens. Yes. Wow, this is in some ways kind of like you could see this as being the first episode.
Well, sure.
I mean, they gave you the backstory.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we see the Discovery.
Right.
This is the first time we meet the crew of the Discovery.
Correct.
And Lucius Malfoy.
Right.
Captain Lorca. Which, by the way, this is weird. I'll throw this out. This probably has nothing to do with anything, but he is kind of like an Ahab kind of guy. They keep talking about like he's like searching for his white whale, and the fact that his name is Lorca. Anyway, okay. Anyway,
I missed the searching for his white whale.
Okay, but okay. So blah. That's just neither here nor there. So it's kind of like, hey, here's the actual series,
sure,
minus the preface.
Yes.
So just right off the bat, what are your thoughts, sir?
I enjoyed it. If it maintains this level of quality, it will be my favorite Star Trek.
Whoa, that's impressive.
Yeah,
that's impressive. I mean it's got a lot going for it. It really does. There's a level of intelligence about it that it just feels like it's been well thought out.
I prefer this style of dialogue. I prefer the characterizations, and then for my taste, unfortunately, for I think real Star Trek fans.
So you are not a real Star Trek fan, you're saying?
I kind of feel like I'm not, know, judging by some of the things in the past, it's like most Star Trek fans' favorite is not Deep Space Nine.
So what you're saying is the reason you are calling yourself not a Star Trek fan is because you feel that most Star Trek fans want to see this uber positive view of the future where everybody gets along,
right,
except for these
and they're not
forces.
Crazy about continuing storylines, and uber positive, and also they like the hey, we went to this planet and something weird happened and that was interesting, and then we went to a different planet.
I see what you're saying. That's not a continuity,
right?
Okay.
And also too,
I don't know that every Star Trek fan is that
almost like well, sort of an amalgam of all these things. Almost too like, that one episode where we didn't focus on character at all, but something strange, they explored it, and it was interesting when that phenomena happened, and isn't it? They like that a lot, and they, this more sci-fi aspect.
Do you have an example of that? No, yeah, just to be more concrete, like, that episode when...
You could say the, I almost said the original series episode where they went back.
You talk about the sorry
with was it Susan Collins? What was her name? No, not Susan Collins.
Oh, the doorway to to forever or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
They go back in time and
actually that one didn't have. I mean, it was more about that than it was about the actual characters. Actually, I mean, even though
that was a cool episode. The reason why
it was a very good.
They
episode.
hooked me on that one.
Yeah, it was very good, but that's I don't know. But that's not the favorite reason why I like Star Trek.
I got you. So. I got you. You want a narrative. You want the characters to have arcs to grow. You want them to not just be goody two shoes or like, hey, everything's great. You want them to be like real people by modern standards.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So this has more of what I like.
It has all of that.
Yep.
It does. It's going to have narrative arcs for sure.
And I think it's actually interesting ways in which they bring qualities from the original series that aren't like that. Like, for instance, I think Tilly as a character is very reminiscent of, hey, this is, the typical Star Trek Fleet person. Very positive, and maybe a little quirky and I shouldn't say maybe, definitely a little quirky. And, nerdy, typical sort of aspect of it, like, the socially awkward part. And so she's really positive.
I've got a lot of thoughts on Tilly.
I know you do.
And
but I think that's what I like about that character is I feel like we haven't seen that in this Star Trek, and I think that a number of characters in the previous series are a lot like that.
Okay. All right. I'm not a fan of Tilly, but I might be. So here's my theory.
Oh, that's the theory? Okay.
This is the theory. It's a Tilly theory. Cadet Tilly. Okay. As she is presented, especially the first scene that she's presented when she comes in, we'll give a quick little synopsis of the show here in just a second. But
I think you can do it quickly in a way.
That's a good point. It's like, oh, crap. But okay, so for now we're talking about Tilly, though. So Cadet Tilly is a character that is being roomed with Michael.
Yep.
And she comes off almost like just talky sitcom high school girl when she first comes out. It's like, I talk when I'm nervous. Who am I talking to you? Sit over here. You know what? I've got allergies. I know, it's like, it's too comical to me, and it feels kind of annoying. I'm annoyed by her. And then she somewhat mellows out a bit towards the and then we see that she's capable when she is in the science lab and when she goes off on the away team. I think basically, okay, so my theory is partially because I can't believe someone that annoying got that far in Starfleet, but obviously that could happen. But there's also this, Peg. Why would you put someone? Why would anyone get bunked with a mutineer who's still technically a prisoner? It seems odd to me. So here's my theory. She ain't like that at all. She's a spy that Lorca has planted to basically keep tabs on Michael, and she is presenting herself as kind of the lowest status person. Maybe I could learn from you, so that she can actually have Michael explain herself in a teaching environment. I think eventually what we're going to learn is that Tilly is actually uber like talented, competent, and is not these affectations that she's got are not actually real. That's my theory.
Okay. I don't think that's true. It would be interesting if it were, and perhaps it might feed into one of the things we've heard is that this division that they're involved with, the Discovery, is somehow involved with Section 31, which is later to come in this series. It was actually, I think it was introduced in the Next Generation, perhaps.
I think it was introduced in Deep Space Nine.
It may have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're like the Starfleet. CIA.
There was from what I remember, there was an episode of Deep Space Nine where Bashir is basically, they think he's a spy working for the Dominion. And so Section 31 has this huge, elaborate, almost like a Mission Impossible style, they make him think he's on the deck of or make him think he's in his real world when actually he's not. It's kind of like a holodeck thing.
Yeah, you're conflating different things. So, I don't think that's right.
You don't think that's right? Because I thought that was Section 31 attempting to find out whether he was actually a spy or not. And then they come up to the conclusion that, I guess he's not. But then there's kind of a...
I should rewatch that. Because there was certainly the one where they put him on a mission because they found out that it was revealed that he was genetically altered. And which was ironic because before it was revealed that he was genetically altered, which was illegal, he would create holosuites or had made for him holosuites where he was a spy.
Right.
But he was like the James Bond kind of spy. And it was an excellent episode where Garrick, who was an actual spy, was like, this is a joke.
I don't think that, I think you're right on that, but I think in this case, the Section 31 was also another one.
It just became like, okay, now we found out that you're genetically altered. And Section 31 kind of put him on a mission. But it may have been something to believe... because they were suspicious. I will rewatch it now.
Okay.
But later on, he did also put himself and O'Brien into the actual brain of a Section 31 agent because they wanted to find out information to help Odo because he was infected. So they were running around in his conscious brain trying to find things.
So Section 31 showed up a fair number of times.
Yes, they did.
And what we learned from their appearances in Deep Space Nine is they are Federation approved.
Yep.
they're a secret organization.
Or at least by a part of,
Yeah,
Starfleet.
somebody's funding them, and they're theoretically Federation.
And buying off them,
Starfleet. And they are get it done no matter what the morally ambiguous cost is.
Yeah.
And
just like the CIA, where they were willing to mess with people and infect people or do bad things because there's a military or political objective to be reached.
And so at the time it was kind of controversial because what we just talked about, how Star Trek was seen as like this very uber positive, we all get along thing, and then suddenly there's this...
I would say not Starfleet, the Federation of Planets specifically. So if you're like a part of the Federation, that you should be living your life as well as possible. And if you had conflict, it was at the time with the Klingons, who weren't part of the Federation. So, and the Romulans who really
Borg.
weren't. I mean, they became an ally during Deep Space Nine. I don't know if they ever became a part of the Federation.
The Dominion.
Yeah, the Dominion wasn't right. So it was all outside is where the conflict came from. Which, it's like, okay, I guess the theory there, if you look at the Klingons, is they were antagonists until they became part of the Federation, or at least partially because sometimes they broke off because, we like war. We want to do war-like things. Well, now we're against the Federation, too.
So what we see here then is that this idea that they've got the black badges,
right?
Like, well, I've never seen black badges before,
right?
We've got them. There is a war happening. It's 6 months after the pilot. We're back here talking about Discovery. Sorry, we've been dodging around, but we're discovering it. Okay, great. So 6 months after the Battle of Binary Stars, there is a war going on.
Right.
But this ship, which is brand new, they mentioned that in the beginning, not a scratch on it, is nowhere near the front lines.
Right.
It's off on its own thing.
Yep, it's science.
And so it is it's a black ops vehicle trying to do these scientific testing to win the war. And there's the connection being made like, well, maybe this is a Section 31 style vehicle, meaning that Section 31 has existed all this time.
Right.
Which I think maybe was a
well, this could be a precursor of the.
True. We're Section 30.5. But, okay, so, quick little, as quick as I can here, recap. So, 6 months later, Michael is on a shuttle to go to she's got a life sentence. She's going to be a mining colony, kind of like Urapente, the Klingon mining colony. And on the way, there's a storm, and the pilot of the shuttle gets killed off, which I'll come back to in a second.
That was great.
And they're rescued by the Discovery. And in the course of after being rescued, she's given work orders. She's like, "What? I'm gonna put you to work." And so she goes into the science area. She starts kind of piecing things together. Like, wait, what? Why is this? Is it, biology, physics? What are these things together? Sure. So then there's a sister ship. She kind of realized, there's the science project has two leaders to it. One is in the Discovery, Stamets, and then the other one is on his other ship, the sister ship. Sister ship goes horribly wrong.
Yep.
Everyone's dead, basically. She's part of an away party that goes over to this other ship. It becomes kind of like get chased by the Rathtars
like
from Star Wars. Yeah. Through the tunnels. She helps the crew out by distracting this otherworldly creature. Right. Everybody escapes.
Yep.
Well, not everybody.
No,
they have a red shirt without a red shirt.
Yeah.
The virtual red shirt dies, as well as all the Klingons.
People, I think.
At least one red shirt dies,
at least one,
and then all the Klingons.
Yeah.
Thank goodness the Klingons don't talk. We were talking about last time how there's that's all he does is shh, which almost seems like a little meta comment on chalk tape. Anyway, so they didn't do that. You didn't have to read. You just got to watch. Anyway, so that happens. Then it's time for the shuttle to continue on its way to the mining colony, penal colony. The rest of the prisoners go off. She stays. She's convinced by Captain Lorca to stay and work on this project. She, at first, thinks, I figured this out. You're trying to make an unethical biological weapon that I'm not going to be a part of. And Lorca convinces her, no, we're just trying to create basically instantaneous travel. We're trying to speed up our travel, which will help win the war that you started, so you should help us. And she basically agrees, right? She agrees.
Yeah, she stays on the ship.
And then we kind of end on, we see that Lorca has his little menagerie where he's captured the creature that was trying to kill them on the sister ship, and that's kind of the end of things.
Yes.
Right. So that's kind of just the
Overall,
superficial, covering what's going on. Yeah. So to break that down, here's one thing that's really interesting. So Lorca, he is the captain, right? So we've got, in the tradition of, Picard and Kirk and Cisco and Janeway, he's the fifth of those, or I guess even
and
Archer.
Yeah.
So all of those others are people that maybe make questionable decisions in particular episodes or something, but overall their arc is, we're good people and we are moral and we make moral choices. We don't necessarily get that from Lorca in this. He's a pretty shadowy figure. He's the one who says context is for kings. He says it in a conjunction with, he says, universal law is for lackeys.
Right.
Context is for kings. Now,
Michael is suspicious about the entire reason that she's there, and intuits that Lorca was the one responsible for bringing him there, and because she's something strange is going on, something that's secretive, and because he's picked someone who is a mutineer and a prisoner, that he suspects that he's trying to utilize her, leverage her situation to get her to do something that is perhaps unethical and someone else wouldn't do.
And it becomes pretty apparent. I don't think they say it verbatim, but it is strongly implied that he arranged for her to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay, so if he did...
Yeah, because he says, they let me do what I want to do.
Yeah, right. Which is another one of those Section 31 type things.
And she was saying, it's traditional for people to be let known where they're going to be moved, and I didn't know that, and we were on our way one place,
and then we got diverted.
Right.
So, what that means to me is, he also let that pilot die.
We don't know that pilot couldn't be saved. It was not too long after it ripped off, so we don't know that pilot died.
They didn't. We don't know for a fact.
In fact, that'd be pretty bad. I mean, what kind of spaceship could tractor beam a ship
and not
minutes before? Yeah, not tractor beam some guy who's zipping off.
I'm just saying,
some woman.
The implication was that the pilot died. In which case, if that's true,
we just didn't see what happened, and it's possible though that because of what happened, her getting ripped off, maybe that process killed her. We don't know.
I'm just saying that would indicate a level of ruthlessness to Lorca that we don't attribute to other captains, is my point.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if the captain didn't know that they were supposed to have some sort of rendezvous, because, why wouldn't they just communicate and say, hey, what's going on, ship? Are you showing up? Some bad thing is happening. If they were going to run out of power... but it could be this whole secrecy thing that, we can't tell the captain of this little...
Loose lips, sink ships.
So, it's this person dead. So,
Just saying, we don't, you're right, we didn't see the person die. We did see outside of the ship, and we didn't see, this shot of her being, in the cafeteria with them.
Right.
And everybody else is eating, and you'd think the pilot would be there too. But,
yeah, you would.
So if he intentionally let this pilot die it's worth it, we're going to get this really cool asset.
Right.
That says something. And if you took the idea of, if I told you the line, universal law is for lackeys, context is for kings, and you didn't say who said that line, it sounds like a villain line. It sounds like if you were to, put it in the mouth of the villain, universal law is for lackeys, context is for kings. Like that, you'd be like, that's the evil guy. Like that guy. So there's a lot of red flags going on, deep, 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 warning, warning. I think if I were to, another theory here. So more theories. Whoop, 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 whoop. Theory time. Dork theories, alert. We begin this series with Michael mutinying.
Right.
And in fact, I am one who's like, I didn't really get. I'm going to put aside the fact that it didn't seem quite earned. She mutinied and has paid a big price for it. I think maybe the arc is that she mutinied kind of unjustifiably in the beginning. She's going to be led to a point where she's going to have to make the choice to mutiny again. And this time it's going to be much more called for because Lorca is a mad scientist. I think he's like a Dr. Frankenstein.
Sure.
And there's going to come a point where she's like, what we're doing is going to get everyone killed, something horrible. Your experiments are going to be horrible. And she's going to have to then, even with this background of having mutineered before, she's going to have to then do it again. Which
maybe number 2, he'll join her.
Saru?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think you might be right. Maybe he decides, you know what, there is a time to mutiny. This is that time.
Yeah, he might.
Anyway, so I kind of feel like that's the arc that's happening.
It could be
here.
the arc. I mean, I think we both said it doesn't feel like Lorca will survive this. But the thing that I don't think should happen, if Lorca, the end result of this is some terrible thing that ultimately ends up making everybody okay with the fact that Michael is not in jail and a part of Starfleet again, is that I hope she doesn't become captain. I think it's good that she's,
Now they did lay out that thing, and her former captain,
right.
Michelle Yeoh's like, you should be captain.
Right, but this whole series is based on the fact that she needs to learn. She's actually not ready.
Yeah.
So
I
don't think it should be the end result is she's ready.
And
we'll see. Maybe they'll learn it.
Good point. She does have some episodes to do that. So we have 13 total. Is that right, or something like that?
So.
Or I saw something that said they were going to have 9 of these.
Yeah, it'll be a
episodes
block and then
before,
like a hiatus and then another block.
So there'll be some. She has teens number. Let's put it that way. So
15.
Okay, there's 15 episodes. Okay, so one thing I did mention in the last review we had that I didn't necessarily like Michael.
Yes, you did say that.
I did appreciate the start of her redemption arc in this episode, in that she has taken the guilt of what happened to such a point that she's like, just take me away. I don't care. I'm in a mining planet. Fine. I mean, when she's on that shuttle and they're all like just razzing her and she's just taking it because she's like, yeah, I earned it. Yes. I feel like
to me, well, what I really liked about that first section actually is they're about to die, and she's like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's taking, I think she's like, that's my penalty.
Right.
So I like the fact that she has, her moral code has punished her, punishing her
and
still.
What she, and part of her redemption in this moment is like, look, you're about to do wrong, and you know what? I've decided now I have to live up to my principles, which are Starfleet principles. I let it go, but I can see, I see what happens wrong when you go away from your principles. As much as my heart was in the right place, it's cost me all these relationships. So, now I'm not going to continue to do it. It's not like, oh, I see what this person's about. That's what they're about, breaking rules. So now she's even more devoted to the principles, at least as it appears anyway.
Right, which is why, if my theory is correct, the choice to mutiny a second time will be that much more difficult for her.
Right. I mean, the way to do it responsibly, I guess, is to communicate with Starfleet that something's going on, and then find somebody who could be like, okay, we want you to do something about that.
Right.
And maybe they'll be like, oh, it looks like she's going to mutiny. Oh, but she got permission later on.
Or say she confides in Tilly, and then we find out Tilly was a spy.
Maybe she is.
The Alice in Wonderland
it's not
context
crazy,
is
that
cool.
idea. I just like the character as it is. I think, and that would be very interesting if it wasn't. If it was a ruse just to that would be interesting.
Okay. All right.
It wouldn't be bad.
I'm kind of I'm
I know this is what you hope for.
It also is a legit. I feel like that's a.
It's not a bad.
I kind of see that storyline. Maybe
not a bad,
like Lorca has all these tests for her. Like he's been putting all these, even this away mission was kind of like he made it into a test for her in some ways. Like he's the one who's like, hey, should she go? And he to put a mutineer on a prisoner on an away mission.
I thought you meant the other one.
Oh, sorry, no, yeah, I'm talking about Michael.
Yes.
He's been testing her. So this is like
he's definitely testing Michael. Yeah.
Yeah, and so this is another way of like getting a psychological profile of Michael is to use.
Right, I forgot
Tilly.
that you were suggesting that the ringer was Michael's, but I was just now thinking maybe it's not Michael's ringer. Maybe someone put her in there to watch Michael. I'm sorry, not Michael.
To watch Lorca. Oh, okay, so she's from the outside completely. Okay, I'm saying she's Lorca's
I know
spy.
how you are.
Okay.
But I'm suggesting that maybe, because that's what, especially if in the end he's the mad, like Apocalypse Now,
Sure.
okay? He's the mad one who needs to be stopped, then you're going to want people,
The horror. So there is the person who seems the most anti-Lorca at this point is Stamets.
Yes. Calls him a warmonger.
He calls him a warmonger. Basically says, I don't want to share this stuff with him. He even said, I don't want to go over there and get the stuff and bring it back. I mean, he
I didn't get that.
He didn't go that far as to like get rid of everything, but he did say like I don't want to give him this stuff. Like he was almost saying mutinous things there if you really took him out of context. Context is for kings. But so he's a guy that I think you could co-opt if you were trying to go, something's wrong with the captain, and I don't think we should. I mean, that's the guy that I would probably approach first.
Sure.
As someone his goals are not aligned with Lorca's. His goals originally was, I'm a scientist who came up with this cool travel technique combining biology and physics. And
but I want to take this moment to say, you want to be careful and not create a show that it doesn't exist.
In what do you mean by that?
Like, at the end of the show, they don't do that.
Yeah, right. So let's talk about that.
You don't want to be too wrapped up in, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It sucks.
Or so this happens, of course, 10 years before the original Star Trek.
Right.
And this is a completely revolutionary, using plant matter.
Sure.
It's basically, I hate to say this, it's like midi-chlorians, isn't it? Like, it's like, these are little spores. They combine the universe.
I don't know. Apparently,
they're all around.
Apparently, it was based on a TED Talk.
Okay.
So and I was watching. There's this on
It
CBS,
binds us together.
CBS All
the Force.
Access.
Okay.
There's an after show called After Trek, and they had the guy who came up with the idea on there. They were like, this TED Talk is like something about spores and how there's something that connects parts of the universe or whatever, or the
Midichlorians.
So,
all right, but yeah, so
midichlorians. That
I know. I hate midichlorians, by the way. But I'm just saying it's like
it sounds like it.
The force envelops us. It binds us together. It's everything, everywhere in the universe.
Right, but nobody talks
like,
about you having a machine that affects the force.
No, agreed. I'm just saying that's kind of anyway. So all right. So but that's the idea is that these spores are the musculature and the blood flow of all these universes, and that this type of travel can make you go instant. He puts Michael in. He being Lorca puts Michael into this chamber, and she theoretically travels. I mean, he could have just put her in a hologram, but let's assume.
Well, they
don't have them yet.
Yeah.
So, but she travels. It's like, oh, look, there's that place. There's that place.
Maybe that's like, really, that's what I created.
Yeah.
Here's my mini hologram.
My holodeck. So yeah, but then we know that 10 years later, this stuff is not only is it not in effect, it's never in effect.
Yeah.
It's not like somebody picks this research up for Next Generation, or like this never comes back.
Right.
So something pretty bad is going to happen. So we can theorize on this. I have a couple of theories on this, but I think so. We heard that they opened up to the Beta Quadrant. Yes.
Yes.
And that's what I'm guessing that creature is from. The weird-looking Rathtar is theoretically was brought over from the Beta Quadrant when they tried this test. So also, while I'm at it, there was one other thing that was the away team is on the ship. There's this Rathtar thing, and then there's a piece of tech that I got the opinion it wasn't supposed to be, it wasn't there originally, that somehow it was like, oh, grab that too.
There's a piece that they took, not their original, you thought?
That's what I didn't get. I couldn't tell if they were saying.
I think it was important for the thing, and maybe
it was just a.
Yeah, that
like,
you don't want to leave it behind, because then, because one thing that he
Klingons
said
are
is like, if they know what we're doing, we're dead.
We're dead. Yeah. So, they're basically this type of travel is interdimensional in some ways, right? It's going or into this other quadrant and it comes back. So I feel like what's going to happen is it's going to either open a rift that they have to try to close, or it's horrible things are going to be starting to come through, and they're going to have to basically make a decision to end the project in such a way that all the data is destroyed, everything's gone, in order to keep whatever it is in the beta quadrant from coming into our world, and that's going to be the mutiny moment. Because Lorca's not going to want to do that, and so Michael's going to be like, "Nope, I'm ending this." And it's a decision that you can make too, as opposed to just, "Oh, it's screwed up and we all died." Like,
could be, but the danger of making wild speculation. This series, there's many more episodes to go that may take it in a different direction entirely. So we'll see. Agreed.
What's the other? Oh, so here's one other theory I've got.
Okay. He's full of theories.
I'm full of theories. This is the time to have them when, as you say, there's nothing else to get in the way.
Nothing. No.
Is it now? So we did it. We saw another hologram. He's talking to the scientist. Stamos is talking to like a hologram of his buddy and stuff like that. And,
yes.
We're being reminded even more and more about stuff that doesn't exist.
Yes.
This travel through fungus and stuff as well. Is it possible this is like another reality?
No.
And that they're going to break through to the real reality later? No. You don't think this is a different timeline?
No. I don't. Because they haven't said that it is. In fact, they said that it isn't. It's supposed to take place in the timeline that Kirk and the original Kirk and all the have appeared in. So they've said apparently that there's going to be something that explains why the tech doesn't continue on.
Sure. Okay. So, but just saying that would explain a lot of things if it was like, and now we've opened this rift into the other timeline.
Aren't going to do that because I don't think they want to do that. I think it wants to be within the.
I would agree it would be lame because they've already done that in the movies. They've been like, this is a different timeline, and then you're like, we'll just cherry pick another timeline. Like,
that would be. I mean, I'm totally fine with how they did it in the movies because it's just unto itself.
Right.
And so
to do it once is fine. To do it then...
Well, it's like, it's not... You're talking about within the course of a series. I mean, like zigging back and forth. That's just like, this is why this world is different, that's all. It's an alternate universe. Some people have speculated, I think, that we will see the creation of the Mirrorverse that we've seen in the original series and almost all the other series.
Everybody with goatees.
Yeah, I don't think did we see the mirror universe in Voyager? I'm not sure if we did.
There were alternate timelines.
But the mirror universe is something specific.
Yeah, the mirror universe definitely in the original series.
Was it in Next Generation?
There were alternate timelines that were very similar to the mirror in Next Gen. Now,
I don't know if the mirror
did they call them the mirror though?
But yeah, in Deep Space Nine they had the mirror, and in Enterprise they had the mirror.
Okay, so that's
I don't know
three series where they brought it up at least.
I don't know if it's in the... But yeah, apparently though, at least that's what some people are theorizing, I think, that somehow...
This form of travel is going to...
might create it.
Create the mirror.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd be okay with that.
Okay. But yeah, so there's going to be... Obviously this is going to end... This form of travel is going to end horribly.
Although I think they established in Enterprise that the mirror universe's events...
Oh yeah, wait, if it was in Enterprise
earlier, then
because Enterprise happens before this does.
Yes.
So if it was in that, then it'd be done.
Yeah.
So all right, so that's more or less our review. We enjoyed episode 3 quite a bit. It's really
more than him.
But I did like it. I like this. It's cool. I like the characters we met. Other than maybe Tilly, but I might like her.
Michael, yeah.
I'm warming up to Michael. So, all right. So we'll be back for episode 4. I did not see a trailer for that. Did you see a trailer for it at all or anything?
feels if I did, but I can't remember anything that happened.
Okay, so we're spoiler free then for that. Who knows? So yeah, if you like what you saw, please hit like, subscribe, share, do all those kind of things, and make a comment. We will make Dork Lord comments back. You can tell us we're horribly off base.
Yes, you can. You can tell me I'm a blasphemer.
And you can tell
I'm
me
completely wrong.
my theories are so freaking stupid. That's fine too. All right, anyway, bye everybody.